Hey guys, Reg and I have just returned from a fantastic trip, and it was garden based. We went to the Grand Garden Show on Mackinac Island um, at the Grand Hotel, all sponsored by Proven Winners. And as you can see, we came back with so many wonderful gifts, as well as experiences and knowledge, and it was overstimulating at times. I'll explain it. So we leave on a Saturday. Have you ever been to Mackinac Island? If you haven't, you go from here to Mackinac City and you have to take a ferry across Lake Huron, 15 minutes to Mackinac Island, which on Mackinac Island, there are no motorized vehicles. You get to walk or ride bikes or take carriage rides with horses. And all I could think of the whole time when we first got off the Shepler's Ferry is I want to go and take some of this manure home with me. That's kind of a nice way of putting it. It smelled like horse poop. But it was beautiful. From the time we got off in Mackinac City to get on the ferry, we took Shepler's Ferry, 15 minutes, you hit Mackinac Island, and because we're staying at the Grand Hotel, which is luxurious, and look it up, a trip of a lifetime for myself and Reg. They take your luggage to the hotel. You don't have to fool with that. But we get off the ferry and start walking to the left. And because I know about Jack Barnwell of Barnwell Landscaping Design, check him out on YouTube. He has been on the island making over all of these historic homes and gardens for 18 years. And his family owned the Iroquois Hotel, which they've just done a big revamp on, and he had just done a video on that. So Reg and I took off on foot. Of course, we didn't have a car or a taxi. A taxi was horse driven, but anyhow, so we take a walk and we walk there first, and it's mind-blowing. And you'll see that on my little collage of our trip that I will show you as soon as I finish my little spill here. And it's breathtaking. From there, we decided we needed an adult beverage because we needed to gear down, and we stopped at Mary's Bistro, and they had Moscow Mule on tap, which was like delicious. And so then we start trekking to the hotel, which we've never been to, but the island itself is 8.2 miles all the way around. And because we knew everything is in walking distance, and it was on the hill, you just had to look up and there's that grand, beautiful hotel. So we start walking, and then we decide we'd have lunch in the gorgeous gatehouse, which was fantastic. And we get up to the hill, and I thought, no, there's a hidden garden. I walk through that, and we get to the top, and it is grand. The porch is over 660 feet long, the longest porch in the world. And so we get inside, and it's amazing. It's beautiful. You're treated like a queen and a king. And the first thing we did is we get in line to register at Proven Winners to get ready for the presentations. And upon your arrival, they give you this big bag full of all these things you see in front of you. They hand you, the first thing is their newest thing is they're doing Leaf Joy HTO mini house plants. They're saying that the young generation want house plants that can be carefree. This little plant can be put anywhere in the house. And interesting, you don't have to, you never take the cork out. If the water starts to drop below an inch, you add a little water for an inch. I'm not a houseplant person, but I might become when they're that easy. But you can see what they gave us. We have a scoop from Fiskars and a wonderful sharpener. I can't wait to try out Fiskars sharpener. Scoops from Proven Winners, Biotone, Felco gloves. I think Laura wears Felcos. Proven Winners, their release food. But at this event, what got my eye is their presenters are Jack Barnwell Designs that I've been watching, Laura from Garden Answer, and her husband are there. Jenny Simpson from Creekside Gardening, and she is a grower from down in Charlotte. And then the other presenter was Paul Zammit, and he's a horticulturalist out of Canada, all about pots. The presenters were amazing. And when we arrived that first day, your first event, a cocktail hour, 5:30 to 6:30, to meet all of the presenters on that big porch with live music and just 750 other enthusiastic gardeners. And they were all enthusiastic. Reggie said he's never heard so much talk about soils and plants and gardening in his life. And for me, it was like the best time ever. And so from there, you go to a gorgeous dinner and sit down by these beautiful people, young students from all over the world who are working there in between college. Some of them were leaving in a couple days. The 1st of September, they'd be leaving. The best food. You could go through the grand hall. They had a harpist that you could just sit and relax. But then we go to our room, which, you know, I talked to Cindy in January when it came across my Facebook page. And I just said, I want to do this when I saw who the presenters were. And on Mackinac Island, I've always wanted to go. And she said, Teresa, would you like a room with a view? And I'm very frugal. And I said, I don't know. Or cheap. Reggie just laughed. And she goes, are you ever coming back? I said, I don't know. She goes, let's go with the room with the view. I said, okay, you know, what's $1 more? When we go to our room, you open the door. Not only is it beautiful, you have a sitting area. There's some pictures on my little slideshow you'll see. But there's a porch. And you open the door to this porch, which has a reclining chair and a chair overlooking a small rose garden there at the hotel. But as you look up, it's the west bluff of the island with beautiful historic homes, 3 of which were on the garden tour. And then when you look to the left, it's the grand Big Mackinac Bridge and Lake Huron. And when you're sitting there, you can see the mist blowing up to the west bluff. Amazing. It never got old. Reggie and I would sit there in the evening. We would sit there in the morning. I would go down to the presenters. Reggie would sit and have his coffee on the porch. And he said all he would do was watch people walk up the hill, and the only sound was the clip, clop, of the horses with a carriage taking people around. Quiet, serene. So anyhow, the first morning it was your opening session with Jack, and then I was a pollinator, so you could go to, they divided 750 of us into 3 different groups. I went to hydrangeas, then I didn't go to another one, and Reggie and I went out and walked the neighborhoods. I saw where Jack's grandmother's home was with this amazing arch that is historic. Then we came back. I had lunch with Laura, with about 300 other people, and sat at a table with people from Colorado and New York, and I can't remember where they were from, and we all talked about water sources and soils, and you know, their zones. They're zone 4 in Mackinac. I'm zone 6 here. So everything in Mackinac looked like it did the end of June. You had daylilies in bloom. The astilbes were huge. Everything was green and lush. Nothing looked tired. All the pots were gorgeous. But I found out from Doug, which is Jack's right-hand man, who now owns the business for Jack Barnwell group that take care of 200 properties on the island. It's fertilization, using a liquid fertilizer for your annuals. The annuals were what's so huge. The perennials I get, but my annuals have never looked so lush. And it is fertilization, you know, not only granular in the soil, but foliar, which I've never used, which I'm going to next year. So from there, though, we went after lunch with Laura and tried to tour a couple of the homes. Of course, you're walking or carriage riding, but the rains come, which wasn't a bad thing because you just duck into Mary's Little Bistro or another little restaurant and bar and wait for the rains to stop. And then you run across the street to a really nice home that's having their garden tour, and it was arts in the garden. So they have an artist on all the porches, and they're painting a scene from around the house or the porch, and they're going to be at the cocktail hour later that night. So we head up to the hotel, take another shower, get dressed, because another cocktail party in the tea garden, and with another orchestra, and all of the artists were on display. The weather cleared. It was a gorgeous evening. You got to visit with, maybe 500 more of your favorite friends. And from there, you walk up to the grand dinner hall, and you have dinner with 10 of your new friends from Canada and Missouri. And it was amazing. And the food was delicious, and the service is unbelievable. Only to go to bed and get up for the last day, Tuesday, where your guest speakers were Laura and Jenny were doing Q&A, and they were darling. You learned so much about Jenny's growing facility and Laura's designs that she's doing now, and the fact that it's a lot of work. And then you go to your next group, which Reggie and I took a hike. We came back for the last one because it's giveaway day. They start giving away things from hose link reels and loppers and solar lights and weeding things and hats to the husbands and the wives that weren't gardeners. And they called it Teresa's name, and I thought it was me, and it wasn't. But we all left with bags of plants. And you know what they are? My one new plant this year that I loved at Proven Winners was the Dolce Wildberry. So Reggie got a bag, I got a bag, but also inside of it were these wonderful, I took the hydrangea course, and they gave everyone little quick fire hydrangeas, which stay, I think, 2 to 3 feet high. Yeah. So that's what Reg and I need for our gardens. And so Reg got a bag full, I got a bag full, but those girls from Missouri, I can't remember their names. I can't either, but I thank you girls if we're watching. They came over to us as we were all trying to get out of this conference center. They said, we want you to have our plants because they're flying. How lucky were we? I mean, that was the best. But from there, Reg and I, we thought we might tour some more, but instead we went down to the docks because we wanted the e-ticket to get home. By that I mean, I wanted the top level, open air, where you might get splashed from the spray from the ferry going over on Mackinac Island. And we got that ticket, and we got on top. And the captain said, I decided I sit on the right-hand side. It didn't feel so wet. He said, anyone on the left-hand side is going to get wet. So we felt safe, except no. He was going so fast that it got everybody wet. And it was so much fun. It's the only way to go. And leaving Mackinac, I think there's a picture on my slides that you'll see of the Grand Hotel in the background. There were tons of kids on this. They were there for a tour, all having a great time. When you get over on the dock, your luggage is there already. And it was just the simplest trip, but the most exciting trip ever, the most stimulating. It's taken me, we got home on Wednesday night. Today is Thursday, September 1st. I'm still riled up, and I'm excited. Will we do it again? I don't know. I would like to. We know that if we go again, you go a day early and stay a day later, because it's just not enough time to do it all. Not enough time to see it all, do it all. But it's a beautiful trip, and the trip up was gorgeous. After you get past Detroit, it turns into this gorgeous, beautiful forested land, and a sign says, elk crossing next 12 miles. I didn't see the elk, but knowing that they're there, it was beautiful and calm. So get ready for the little collage of the slides. It's a whirlwind trip. You must go. And thanks to Proven Winners, and to the crew, and to the energy that was given to all this. Thanks to Karen and Cindy, who became my best friends. And you'll see I became best friends with Jack and Jenny and Laura. It was the time of my life, and even Reggie said it was his, so you must go. Let's see, Jenny from Creekside. gardening and Jack Bar. So anyhow, I'm going to turn you around and we're going to find our way to where. Getting everybody on. Dance backwards. Look how you can dance. The music's great. Get some wine. I hope you enjoyed that little vignette of the whirlwind trip. If you get a chance, go to the Proven Winners Grand Garden Show next year. It's sold out in 14 days this year. Just a heads up. So we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.